So the trade rumors have been swirling around with not just average players, but like star players in the league. And so today, the show Deal or No Deal, this is dealt or not dealt, and we're playing it today.
All right, Odell Beckham Jr., dealt or not dealt?
I would deal him. I do not think he'll be dealt before the start of the NFL season. I think Kevin Stefanski, and I think they're taking calls on it, but my guess is he wants to give him a run. To me, it makes so much sense for OBJ. They have real needs on the O-line and linebacker. I think you have now with Austin Hooper too many mouths to feed for young Baker Mayfield with a new system with no OTAs. I'd move him, but I don't think they will.
O.J. Howard, dealt or not dealt?
Dealt. He only had one touchdown last year. Bruce Arians, if you look at the history of Bruce Arians' systems, it's not terribly tight end friendly. And Cameron Brate actually had more targets and more completions and more touchdowns last year. So O.J. Howard's a very expensive toy for a coach that doesn't particularly use that position.
Jamal Adams, dealt or not dealt?
I think I would deal him. I don't think he'll get dealt before the season, and my feeling is he's wildly explosive. He's very popular. I could go either way on this. Joe Douglas so far has said all the right things. I would deal him, and I think he's unbelievable. And I think Joe Douglas is really smart, and I think I could almost flip this. I think Joe Douglas knows to get better at multiple key positions, you have to trade him. But it would make a big splash, and I don't know if Joe Douglas, first-year GM, wants to do that.
Joe Thuney, dealt or not dealt?
By the way, Jamal Adams has a year left, too. I don't think Joe Thuney's going to get dealt. Number one, he has not missed a start in his 4-year career. That is so Belichickian. Also, he's their best offensive lineman. He's a 2-time All-Pro, and the Patriots franchise tagged him. So, there are some positions that at this current time, if you're going to go after a quarterback in this draft, Joy, I don't think Joe Thuney's a guy you're going to let go. I think you can let go of defensive players, but I wouldn't be shocked. I think New England's going to strongly address. Last year, they went to a lot of defensive stuff in the draft. I think they're going to address their offense very much in this draft.
Yeah, you want to keep your offensive line intact. D Ford, dealt or not dealt?
Dealt, and I don't know if they'll be able to deal him. He's very expensive, and he had injuries last year. But I think, and also they got rid of Bruckner, and if they get rid of D Ford, you could say, well, that is not ideal for what we want. But I do think that they have the luxury of having been to a Super Bowl. I think there's a great draft defensively next year. I think they need a receiver. So my feeling is the D Ford move, it's one of those John Lynch risks, which he's prone to taking, that didn't really pan out. But I think they'd deal him if they could.
KWON Alexander, dealt or not dealt?
Not dealt. Now, he's young. He's only 25 years old, and he's got 3 years left on his deal. I actually think their defense last year, when KWON Alexander, you remember this, he got hurt. I don't think their defense was nearly as good without KWON Alexander. He is a hyper-athletic linebacker they got from Tampa. I love the deal. Because remember, they lost Reuben Foster to some personal stuff. They let him go. And KWON, maybe not Reuben Foster talented, but darn close. So I don't think they deal him. And remember, this team is really young defensively, so they can afford KWON Alexander for another year. They were going to have to pay Bruckner. They're young. They've got a lot of guys who are overperforming their contract. They'll keep him.
The Redskins' number 2 overall pick, dealt or not dealt?
Not dealt. Chase Young is seen as the best defensive player kind of easily in this draft. And I think Ron Rivera, who's a very good personnel guy and has a great eye for talent, this is a kind of potentially a Von Miller generational pass rusher, Khalil Mack. I don't think a defensive coach is going to deal that.
I agree. Lions' number 3 overall pick, dealt or not dealt?
Dealt. I think they're in a power position. I think one of the two teams, the Chargers or Miami, is going to move up and get Justin Herbert. Now, it should be said, I like Herbert more than all the draft people do. I think he and Burrow are a lot closer than people think. I do think Burrow is a little better escaping in the pocket. But I think Herbert's got real, like Alex Smith straight line speed if you get him out of the pocket. So I think Detroit, if they got a call, I think they'd be making a mistake because I think they can get Jeff Okudah 3 picks later. Because if you look at who's drafting after them, like the New York Giants, I think the Giants are going to go offensive line potentially or Isaiah Simmons. So I think absolutely the Lions deal their pick.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.